You know, what if I told you that one of the most brilliant jokes in all of English literature isn't actually a line in a play? What if it's just two words, swapped in its subtitle? Today, we are diving deep into Oscar Wilde's masterpiece, The Importance of Being Earnest, to see how one tiny, tiny change unlocks the secret to his genius. So let's get right into it. Why would he do this? A serious comedy for trivial people becomes a trivial comedy for serious people. I mean, at first it just looks like he's playing with words, right? But this one change is actually a puzzle. And once you solve it, it completely transforms how you see the entire play. It's the difference between a lecture and an inside joke. So what was Wilde really up to? All right, let's start with the puzzle itself. The whole mystery really does hinge on just those two words. Think of it as a clue Wilde left for us, hidden right there in plain sight, that just blows the doors off his entire satirical strategy. And it's so easy to just gloss over it, to think it's a minor stylistic choice. But it's not. This was a tactical move. Wilde wasn't just polishing a phrase. He was completely re-aiming his satirical canon. He was changing the target and he was changing his method of attack. It's brilliant. Okay, so to really appreciate the genius of where he ended up, we have to go back to the beginning. Let's take a look at the original draft to understand what Wilde was first trying to do, back when the play was much more of a lecture. So in that first version, Wilde was not subtle. His target was the trivial people. And who were they? Well, they were the very people sitting in the theater seats, the wealthy, upper-class Victorians who are obsessed with surfaces, with fashion, with status. He was literally looking them in the eye and saying, "Hi, this play is about you, and you guys are shallow." It's incredibly direct. And the play itself? He called it a serious comedy. The purpose was to be a kind of medicine. The humor was just the spoonful of sugar to help the audience swallow this bitter pill of moral truth. The play's job was to be a doctor, diagnosing a sick, frivolous society and trying to cure it. So the takeaway here is that the original relationship between the play and its audience was totally confrontational. The play was positioned as superior, looking down, judging them. It was a straight-up condescending attack on the character of the very people who bought tickets. But Wilde, being Wilde, must have realized this was way too blunt, almost preachy. And he was capable of something so much more clever, so much more subversive. So he changed it. Now let's look at the final cut, where the play goes from being a lecture to a magnificent inside joke. And right here, this is the pivot. The target is no longer the people in the audience, it's the ideas they held sacred. Serious people isn't an insult to the audience. It's a description of anyone who buys into that rigid, stuffy Victorian obsession with earnestness and duty. He's not attacking them anymore. He's attacking their rulebook. And by calling his own masterpiece a trivial comedy, Wilde pulls off his greatest magic trick. He presents the play as nothing, as harmless, silly fluff. It's a Trojan horse. He totally disarms the very serious people he's about to critique, smuggling a radical takedown of their entire value system right past them, all under the disguise of a fun night out. So the tone completely changes. It's not a lecture anymore. It's an ironic wink. It's a conspiratorial nod to the cleverer people in the audience, inviting them to join him in the joke, a joke that's being played on the very idea of seriousness itself. The play becomes this shared act of subversion. Okay, this is where it all comes together. Let's put these two versions side by side to really see just how massive a difference this tiny change makes. This is the big reveal. Okay, just walk through this with me. Look at the target. It shifts from the people themselves to their values. The whole function of the play shifts from a moral lecture to an act of liberation. And the tone? It goes from being condescending to being conspiratorial, like we're all in on it together. He's no longer critiquing their character. He's dismantling their entire philosophy right in front of them, and he's getting them to laugh while he does it. So if you remember one thing, it's this. Wilde brilliantly re-aimed his wit. Instead of this frontal assault on the people in the room, he launched a subtle, clever, ironic critique of the ideas that were running their lives. It's so much smarter and way more devastating. So, why does any of this matter? I mean, really, who cares? Well, we should, because this little edit gets us to the absolute core of Oscar Wilde's philosophy. It reveals the ultimate takeaway here, the seriousness of triviality. Now, what does that even mean? Well, Wilde is arguing that in a world that is obsessed with a false, stuffy, and often totally hypocritical idea of depth and seriousness, the most honest and intelligent thing you can possibly do is embrace style and wit and surfaces. To be trivial on purpose is a form of rebellion. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Wilde's point is that when the systems you live in are fundamentally absurd, playing by their serious rules is the most foolish thing you can do. The only truly intelligent response is to be deliberately, beautifully, and wittily trivial. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. Wilde mastered this strategy over a century ago, but it feels more relevant today than ever. I mean, from political satire on TV to internet memes, a perfectly aimed joke can often say so much more than a serious lecture. So where do you see the power of triviality being used as a serious weapon to critique our own world today?